Let me further break it down to you why I am grateful that I'm not heterosexual. Please pay attention, especially queer people. Please, please pay attention. Men and women, pay attention. I am so glad that I, Uche Chukwu, from Ishialangwa South Local Government Area, I am not heterosexual. Because if I was straight, I would be in a lot of trouble. Yes. This is because women are intelligent. Yes. Whether she knows it or not, doesn't matter. Whether she's aware of it or not, especially the ones who are aware of it, the ones who are aware of it, they can easily get dangerous with it because once you become aware of something, your ego also becomes aware of it. But this has nothing to do with womanhood, actually. This has more so to do with femininity. It's just the nature of the feminine. The feminine is very intelligent. It just is. They cannot help it. It is embedded in their psyche, their spirituality. They're just very intelligent. It's just their nature. They cannot help it. And a heterosexual man is wired to receive that. It doesn't matter how strong of a man you think you are. Matter of fact, the more machismo you do, the more you become so easily susceptible to that intellect. All it takes is a woman that knows how to play, and phew, you're gone. And I think this is why some women gravitate towards me. And it's not just on my page, but like, all my life, all my adult life, I've noticed a lot of women naturally gravitate towards me because I'm a very vulnerable and genuine person. And they recognize themselves in me. But that's more so because of my feminine energy and also my masculine energy. They recognize themselves in me and they gravitate towards me. Now imagine if I was a heterosexual man, I would naturally be gravitating towards that back. And that can easily become a distraction for someone like me. Easily distract. The amount of babies I would have had in this world, whoo, girl. I was to start with baby number one. Number two, number three, number four. I tell you, you have a whole boot camp. That's how I'll be paying child support. God forbid, I beg. And it's easy for us queer people, to judge these men with these baby mamas and things like that. But from a place of emotional intelligence, I understand. I do understand. I think women are more of a vice for men than men are a vice for women, just because of that feminine nature. Now, it's different for queer people, though. It's different. The reason why it's different for queer people is because as a queer person, man or woman, you have a higher calibration of the masculine and the feminine, both of them. This is what makes you a gatekeeper. So when I meet a gay person or queer person in general, but especially a gay man or bisexual man who is playing the same game as a woman, okay, it falls flat for me because it's almost as though I don't want to use the L word, but it's almost as though I'm looking at a loser. Like, you're such a loser, you don't even realize it. You see, when a woman does those things, it is natural for her because that is her natural state of being. She's not necessarily aware of it. Women can do serere. And a straight man will be honest. If he's being honest, he would tell you that, yes, it can be annoying, but it's a turn on for him because he's naturally wired to perceive that. But a queer person who's doing it, like, mm-mm. Like, bro, you are in a whole different category. Like, God Almighty has blessed you to have your own category of masculinity and femininity. All you need to do is to close that circle with both of them. You become irresistible. You ain't got to do like the women. You ain't got to do like the men either. Because, yeah, you got some dudes, the trades, shout out to all the trades, Chad. Or the DLs and closet cases trying to butch it up, trying to be all masculine. You like, yeah, it falls flat for me. That would be equivalent to you handicapping yourself by yourself. How's that attractive? That's not attractive. This is also very perfectly in alignment with me as Uche because there's a lot of pain in our community. So I see a lot of people who wear masks. I see a lot of queer people who are, with their sanere and their jabota. It falls flat for me. Less distraction, okay? You see the ones with, they're trying to be a real man. Falls flat for me. Both the ones that are closer to and the ones that are down low or the ones that I want to be or the ones that are just confused though. It's easy for me to just stay in my lane, chair, because I'm not. These niggas don't turn me on. Like, no shade, but it's just the way it is. But once in a while, there comes a man. Okay, it's very rare to find it as a black person, but even more rare to find it as a Nigerian person. There comes a person who closes the circle. A man who's not afraid. They're not afraid. They understand the power of their femininity and their masculinity, and they close that circle. That man becomes irresistible to me. And then I feel that pull, the same pull a straight man will feel towards the woman. See, the woman who's doing all this, she's not necessarily doing it manipulatively. She's not. It's just her nature. She can't help it. She's just naturally in alignment with how God has created her. And in her vulnerability and authenticity, she just shines to this straight man. Same thing too with that queer man. That queer man, he's not trying to seduce me. He's not doing anything. He's just being himself. You can see it in his creativity. You can see it in the way he's clocked out from this world and he's just doing his own thing. He can dance around, according to the beat of the world. But you can also see that he exudes a different energy that says, "Oh, I'm just mimicking the people of this world. Like I'm not doing this shit because I'm with the world." It's just like it's just fun because yes, I know I look like a man and I'm supposed to act like a man, but fuck that shit. I know how to do that, and I also know how to do this, and we're having fun. You can see it in his creativity. Who you see a man like that, so ain't no saying for anybody, papa. If you're queer and you truly are about that life, as in I know saying for anybody, papa. Nah, I'm with Coachy. Yes, I will focus my eyes on you like, damn, now we're talking. Again, the good news is that I don't see that a lot, especially within the, African community. So it's less distractions for me, hence why it's easier, if at least it appears easier for me to, what I'm saying, stay in my own lane. Now, don't get it twisted. I have my own demons that I fight with too, Chad. Because in as much as I'm not able to connect with a lot of people in the mind, a lot of these men still look fine as fuck. Women too, Chad. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fine ass women. But a lot of these men are so good looking. Like West African men, like I could say that are the best looking on this planet. I'm just keeping it real, especially Nigerian men. Nigerian men are beautiful as fuck. My FYP page is littered with all kinds of fine ass brothers. I'm like, and I thank God Almighty that my own attraction is in the mind, because if I'm not connected with you in the mind, then nothing's going to happen. Because if not say now only physical, I for not become a shower for this eto. Hey, Chineke, all of that still in land. You have never seen a shower like Uche Chuku. You have never seen it, but God is good. God said, "You see this one? Yeah, I'm going to make you not just physically sensitive, but mentally sensitive as well." So unless you're someone who has closed that circle in your mind and you're masculine and you're feminine and assume that natural position of gatekeeper that God has put you in, you're just speaking English. And me, I'm also speaking English. Yeah, not my mom. At the end of this conversation, I share good luck seeing my black ass again until you're ready to take off that mask and assume the dope ass position that God has put you in this world to. Yeah, share. Okay, but no, just day your day. But yes, if you're a queer person, there's power in your queerness. There's power in your perfect calibration of masculinity and femininity. Let the women who have a higher calibration of femininity do their thing because that's their nature. Let the men who have a higher calibration of masculinity do their thing because that's their nature. Of course, there are also women who have a higher calibration of masculinity. Let them do their thing as well. There are also men, irrespective of sexual orientation, who have a higher calibration of femininity. Let them do their thing. But you, a queer person, you have a high calibration of both. Lean into it, and you become irresistible. And let me tell you something, Chad. You ain't gotta try. You don't even like. You can be in a room filled with people. You don't have to talk. You glow. You don't need to talk. You don't. There might be a sexy man that comes in, and everybody's just shaking your ass and rearranging themselves so that they can be noticed by that sexy man. But that sexy man, if they're still, they will notice you. You don't need to try. You just shine. You become irresistible. If you're blessed with a spirit of awareness, you're aware of it, sure, but you might not necessarily be aware of it. I think your karma sometimes will bless you with not being aware. So because if you become aware of it, your ego also becomes aware of it. I'm aware of it because it's necessary for my type, the work I do, to be aware of it. And now I have to be even more still to fight the ego. But that's a whole nother conversation, Chad. But I say this to say, do you know how many people notice me? And I'm not bragging at all. I know some biscuit heads would think I'm bragging. But I'm just being honest. Do you know how many straight men, including straight men, who notice me? They might not necessarily be quick to admit it, out of fear, because they got their own struggles too, Chad. Nobody wants to be associated gay by association, even though they're straight. but they're still their own insecurity. They're not used to seeing someone like me. They're not used to seeing a black person who's real, who's authentic, especially a queer one. That might even trigger an existential crisis to them, but they recognize me. Do you know how many of them gravitate towards me? They're usually very quiet in the beginning, but once in a while they'll tell me, hey, in the beginning I was just watching you very quietly, but this, and that. This is how you've been able to help me. And in that very moment of their genuine vulnerability and my genuine vulnerability, I see the sincerity and we become 1 + 1 = 1 because I know that they're being honest. And yes, I know this word doesn't necessarily give me grace or give people grace all the time. Yeah, sometimes I slip. Sometimes I say things I probably shouldn't say, Chad. Because sometimes I watch some of my old videos and I cringe, but shout out to Grace. But if you give me grace, you will see the consistency of there's something about this guy that is real because you recognize me in my own vulnerability. I don't get shame, okay? You can't shame the shameless. I'm completely naked inside this internet, so there's nothing there. And especially as Africans, we're used to people who do all this kind of serene, like you have to act a certain way. And to them, when they see that I know send, it's very attractive to them, not in a sexual way, and they gravitate towards me. Now, the opposite also happens when I meet some cabin biscuit head people, who see my shine and they try to pretend, they try to downplay, they lie. You see me, you notice me, but I know that my glow is irritating your demons and you're trying to, stiff my light. Is it stiff or stiff? You're trying to quench my fire. You're trying to. So, it's a reverse psychology. Look, forget about this accent that I'm doing. No, I'm an Abba boy. We do all this brain nonsense, It's paining you that you know that I am shining effortlessly, something that you wish so hard to do. You do everything to shine and do all this, but now there's somebody in front of you that is just effort. He not even said. Like, it looks easy because it's natural for me, but I still have to put in work because, work is part of the human nature. I've talked about that in the past. Everyone has to put in work. Even Jesus put in work. But it's natural to me, and you can see how I am effortlessly just being me, and you're noticing me, and it's irritating you because it reminds you of something you wish to attain but cannot with your struggle as everything. You're trying so hard to stand out, but nobody sent for you. So you try to belittle me, you try to, quench my fire. I'm not gonna now, if I have energy, if I'm in the mood, I can play with you. You do like this, me, I do like this until I get bored. I leave your ass at the monkey bar. Let your mother wipe your ass and deal with you, okay? But if I know something, I'll just get up and walk out. I've been known to walk out on people, okay? When I lived in Texas, even here in Ghana, I would literally get up and walk out on you while you're talking because, no, we're not doing this today because I got work to do. So, please, I say all that to say, my queer people, remember it is written in the Bible, your gifts and your talents will take you before kings and queens. Please don't forget that, okay? But you have to hone into your gifts and your talents. All you have to do is just be. Just be. There is a lot of kings and queens silently watching you. Silently watching you because they're testing you. They're giving you the best test in this realm, which is the test of time. Are you worthy of their kingship and their queenship? Okay? So the less serere you do, the less anything that is not you do, the sooner those people can interact with you. Okay? Because if you're doing all this shit, trying to be a real, N-word and, real bad bitch and trying to, all these stupid ass games, the only people that you'd be able to track will be low vibrational ass people, like people who are susceptible to nonsense. Only these people who their minds are just very, low self-esteem, low IQ will just flock to you because that's what math will do to what's it called, lights. You turn on the light, the moths will come, and then the bigger light will come, all the moths will migrate. Do you really want that? You should have enough esteem for yourself for you to know that you ain't got to do none of that. There are kings and queens waiting for you silently, waiting to see if you're phony or not. If you're phony, eventually Nepage would all come. Everybody will expose their ash. But if you're not a phony, if you really are about that life, nothing will change. Nothing. They will still recognize you. They will be looking at you. They will recognize you because they recognize themselves in you. Hence why they're watching you. If they didn't recognize themselves, no king or queen will be watching you. Go focus silently. They'll just move on. Like, oh, this one, what's this one talking? They'll just move on, right? But they're watching you, giving you a test of time. So just be still and be. I even have to remind myself, I have to, even though this word, the things of this word, they vex me sometimes. Like, we thank God. God's divine power has given you everything you need to be. This world will tell you that it's not good enough. That's what they are meant to do. Even Jesus collected himself. Even the devil himself came to Jesus to tell Jesus what to do. They accuse this man of everything. All of those things. That's what the world is meant to do. It's all a test. It's all a test. Are you about that life? Clearly, you're about that life. Hence why your karma has incarnated you here. You got it. You got it. So don't be afraid. That's why the Bible keeps saying, don't be afraid, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. We got it. We got it. Okay. At this point, this all this shit is entertainment for me because half of these people are AI. I don't want I should be careful if I trigger my own existential crisis. Okay. We queer people, we are gatekeepers. We are dope. Okay. Even if you're not queer, men and women, just be yourself. Okay. Let's do this dance and go home. That's it. Uche. Peace and love.